issue as we're looking at our 12-county region and how we plan for what's to come in the year 2050.
You've got to invest in your transportation. And it's policy. I read today where China invests about 9% of the GDP in their transportation. And we do about a third. Again, it's policies. Then where do you see, in this case, 2050, where do you see us going? What do you see the land use being? You know, what do you see your transportation options? You know, and there's one last thing that I didn't mention. What are the things you don't control? The energy. You know, what energy resources do you need out 10 years, out 15, out 20? I mean, the reason our ridership is up 7% is not because gas is cheap. It's because gas is expensive. So, you know, you have to have some vision. You have to be able to establish what I would say a diverse set of options.
The strange thing about transportation funding, which you guys, most of you know this, is that it's funded through gas taxes. So if a big goal is to reduce how much fuel you use, let's see, use less fuel, get less gas tax, got less money to do the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, it's what they call unsustainable. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So trying to figure out with others of ways to migrate how we fund our transportation system. The other thing that our leadership at WARPC is doing is trying to engage people that are really important to talk about a national transportation vision. There isn't one. I mean, we don't have a purpose in terms of a national or state of how we want our transportation system to function. You know, there's no national rail system. There's an interstate highway system, but there's no national rail system. And unfortunately, there's no money to do that, and there's not a lot of political will to do that right now.
As far as the rail monies are concerned, we turned back, it was our reasoning behind turning back that monies was $450 million that was supplied by the federal government. It's only a portion amount of money that would take for us to invest in the passenger rail system. As far as the initial upfront capital to do that, as well as the operating cost for that system. We did not believe, given the amount of monies that we have, or limited amount of monies that we have, to address our fixed costs. Our highways are still fixed. We need to control that. In fact, the second largest number of bridges, the fourth largest interstate system in the state of Ohio does have a fixed cost each year. We could not be able to afford that passenger rail and still maintain our preservation, our existing facilities as they are today.
Here's our transportation network. It is a spider web of facilities that crisscross the state. And so, in conclusion, we have this vast network that encompasses several nodes, and what we have to be doing is looking at those key elements of our transportation system, and not only the elements, but the key connections. We have to be focusing on those connections so that we can take those connections, and through our office, we're helping not only at the statewide level, but at the local level, provide data so that we can identify those connections, maintain and expand those connections, so that we can make the best use of the assets we already have. As been mentioned before, funding, future transportation funding, is not looking so rosy right now. So we have to focus on what we have, shore up what we have, and make strategic investments that's going to provide us the most benefit.